Ger Geraghty, you're involved in rugby for a long time. How did you get involved in it?
Well, I got involved one day. I was going down James Street and Teddy went and Stephen Geraghty pulled up in a car and said to me, would you like to come to Athlone? And I ended up in Athlone in the front row. First time ever I played rugby. And I can tell you one thing, I thought I'd never play again because I wasn't able to look left nor right for about 2 weeks after. But I continued on playing rugby then and we had great old times. And as I say, I was lucky enough to be a sub on the junior cup team. And again, history came in there in that line for me, as I was the first sub ever to come on in Connacht Junior Cup rugby.
Well done, yeah. Well done. How long did you play for?
I played roughly for about 10 years.
10 years,
Yeah, on and off. But first, and I was the captain of the seconds team when we started the seconds. But as I say, we had great old times and there was a lot of funny ones. There was a guy from Limerick that worked in the Ulster Bank, Billy Mullins was his name. And like, he was a scrum half and I was the hooker, and you'd hear this on the now Ger Geraghty, like, and Lord of Mercy on Liam Welch made a statement one day, like, he says, Billy, it should be on the wing, not on the now Ger Geraghty. And he put it in so slow, so when you...
Did you do much training for it?
Well, we had quite a bit of training in our time, like, you know, Ollie White used to bring us to Berthrow, you know, and we used to be up and down the sand dunes and we enjoyed it. We'd go to the rugby pitch, and then that was the first half of training, and then the second half of training was either in the Railway Hotel or Teddy Welch's.
Well, my recollection of when I came here first, training wasn't a very serious thing. It was kind of got in the way of the lighter side of the game.
It did, yeah. The training was very limited. Like, you know, you were told to be a match on a Sunday, and that was that, and you'd go down the Tuesday night, and I think it was a Thursday night. But
what were the changing facilities like?
Well, the changing facilities were non-existent in different clubs you go around to. I remember John Cox, and he had a girlfriend one time, and we were in Monavea, and she couldn't believe the facilities. Was a trough out the back of a pub, and I had ice on it. But 9 times out of 10, when you'd finish a match, you'd wash your face and you'd more or less come home. You wouldn't go to these facilities, they weren't in it. We had facilities in Hotel Westport then, so we thought we were made up.
2 bedrooms?
2 bedrooms, yeah.
Cleaned out for the winter?
Cleaned out for the winter, and that was it. Then, like, you know, they were like that then until the tourists came again, most likely.
Full of mud after?
Full of mud and everything.
Did you drink much Guinness that time, did you?
Well, in them times, like, you know, it was always a known fact, like, if you couldn't drink 10 pints of Guinness, you weren't considered for the team.
An essential part of the...
What it? No doubt about that.
Did you travel far?
Well, we did, Athlone, and we had one famous trip to the Isle of Man.
Right, yeah.
So we had, we left Castlebar, so we did, and 8-seaters. And as usual, we were poured on and poured off it. But in all fairness, we won our matches in the Isle of Man.
100%. I was there for that, yeah.
As a matter of fact,
we had difficulty getting people out of bed there, didn't we? We had a solution.
We had, but we won.
Basin of cold water. Got them out.
We did. And some guys mightn't have gone to bed at all, but they still turned up and played. But Paddy Hogan, the Lord of Mercy, was our president at the time, and I remember coming home on the plane. There was a few of the boys weren't getting on that well together, and they were kind of having a go at each other, and Paddy reckoned if they didn't sit down, they turned over the plane. But I think the funniest one on that trip was when we were coming into land. In those days, seated planes. We were into Castlebar Airport at the time now. There was no knock or Ryanair or any of those people, but we were coming into land, and again, Lord of Mercy, is when you talk about people, you realise they're passed on a lot of them. Jim Ryan was in charge of the air traffic control at that. But he gave this guy, you could see the captain in front of you on the plane, like, you know, there's no cockpits. and he told them that to come in as quick as possible. There was a very heavy shower coming at Island 80, and there's no doubt about it, he was right, because when we landed we spent 15 or 20 minutes on that plane. There was such a downpour. So they were the directions we got in.
There was an incident in one time in the scaffolder when you were, was Scaff for the highest?
Yeah. That was, I think that was the time the Junior Cup was won. But it started in the Scaff and it ended up in Ballinrobe. So it did.
What happened?
Well, there was a few other ones now, just to think what happened that night in the Scaff. I know that we had a bit of trouble one time, and Hugh O'Malley was very, very quiet. And we all were surprised with Hugh, but Hugh defended the title with us.
Tell me about Joe Broderick.
Joe Broderick was the bus driver, retired bus driver now from Rugby, but he was driving for CIE. But the team and the supporters, there was two buses actually, team and supporters, all travelled together. And we're on our way home, we went into Ballinrobe. And we were in this dance hall, come nightclub. But all hell broke loose. So it did. I think Christy Cawley got involved with somebody or something like that at the time. But Joe Broderick swore one time that after that he'd never ever drive a rugby team. But I'd often meet him on the street now and he'd say that even when he looks at rugby on the television he thinks it was.